Welcome back. We're back with another video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at some pairs that we have been trading, and we're going to be explaining how you can actually trade BTMM by understanding your higher time frames, understanding your higher time frame structures, and how you can simplify level counting, and also how you can trade with the help of these moving averages. All right. So right here, we had an analysis on USD CAD. As you can see, we wanted to see price move up. I'm going to take you to the charts, and I'm going to explain the reason behind this trade idea, so you guys can understand how we came about with this trade. All right. So basically, if we can take it down to the shorter time frames, this is where this trade was executed. Right at this point. So I'm going to explain the reason why I wanted to execute this trade at this level right here. Right. So the first thing that I always do is I want you guys to understand your higher time frames. Right. So I won't take you guys too far, but it's always important that you understand your higher time frames. Right. And I like doing this with clarity. So I like doing this on the clean chart. So the first thing that you want to understand is what's happening in your higher time frames. And that's very important, because you always want to be in line with these higher time frames. All right. So as you can see right here, just by looking at your higher time frames, you can understand that we had price coming off this demand area right here. Remember, this is your monthly, so we're not going to really look at too far back, right? We're trying to focus on what's happening right here. So one thing that we can see is price is bouncing off this demand area, as you can see. So we had price bouncing off of that area at this level, and this is your monthly time frame. So let's take it down to your weekly so you can get a better understanding. So just by looking at this, we can see that as price bounced off from this demand area down here, right, we can clearly identify a peak formation down there. From that demand, we can identify a level of rise, right? As you can see, this is your weekly time frame. So variations, but within this rise, we can identify a push one, right? So if you're going to count your levels from your weekly time frame, sorry about that. If you're going to count your levels from your weekly time frame, this is what you'd have, right? From your peak. And then we also have another level here and another one, right? So that's what we can identify, right? We have the peak, level 1 of rise, level 1 right there. You can also identify another level 2 right there, right, of push at that level, and then we can identify the last push as well. Right, from this level. Right, and as you can see from there, we had a reset and price continued moving up, but this is just level 1 into a consolidation, right? If you look at it, right, then we had the second level of rise. As you can see, the long sustained run from that level 1 consolidation, right? So currently we are in that level 2, right, consolidation, right? So just by looking at your higher time frame on your weekly time frame, that's what you need to understand, right? You need to understand that. And if you look at it with our EMAs, we can identify the trap below the 800 EMA, right, being our peak formation. We can also identify the level 2 of rise into a consolidation, and this can also be confirmed by the 50 and 200 EMA crossover, right? So we are in that level 2, right? So this is our weekly time frame, right? So just by understanding this, we can see that what's in charge of price right here is this area, this demand area right here. As you can see, after the 50-200 crossover, we had a bounce off that 200 EMA, right? So if we go down to our daily, this is what we can see, right? If we go down to our daily time frame, this is what we can identify: the trap below, right? The 800 EMA giving us the peak, right? A move up into a consolidation, another move up into a consolidation, right? So if we take it to a clean chart, you should be able to see that, just by understanding what's happening, right? We can understand the price is coming from your demand, right? Made a push up, right? Remember, this is your daily, so we can, this is our trap, peak formation low, right? And then we have that 1 month of rise, right, into a consolidation. So we had a couple of months more. This is just consolidation. We cannot consider, these pushes as, level counts, right? So this is just level 1 into a consolidation, though this consolidation took, a couple of months to play out. And we can also identify level 2. So in our daily time frame, we were at our level 2 consolidation, right? So you need to understand the level, right? But just by looking at the bigger picture, one thing that you need to understand is this supply area right here, right? This is where price has been bouncing off. So this area has been getting hit multiple times, which makes this area very weak, right? Which makes this area very weak. Don't forget the bigger picture. Remember, we can still identify a push. We can still identify another push from that level 1 consolidation, right? So we are in that level 2 consolidation. So we might expect another push up, right? And we can see this by, how this area is getting hit, right? Remember, when an area or an order block gets hit many times, that area gets weakened, right? That area becomes weak. So just by looking at that, if we go back to the daily, this is what we have, right? Just looking at the structure itself, right? I identified this order block right here. I mean, we can identify how price moved away from this area, that volume that we had right there, right? So this becomes a very, powerful order block that you can focus on, right? So just by looking at this, with the help of our EMAs, of course, and understanding the cycle, this is what we can see, that 5200 crossover right there after a peak formation, right? So we're trading away from the peak, and then we can identify a W formation, month. It took 2-3 months for this to play out, but we were focused on this, right? So if we go to the daily, we are in the daily time frame. We can see that this is the bounce of the 200 EMA. If we go to our H4 right here, right? So this was the bounce of that 800 EMA. If we can actually mark this up right here, this is the daily. This is our H4, right? So you can see that this is actually a trap below the 800 EMA. Remember, the 800 EMA in the H4 is actually the 200 EMA in your daily time frame. So we can identify, a trap, a W formation below that, right, and then move up, right? So when I actually saw this trade, as you can see right here, this is what I had anticipated, right? So I'm just trying to show you how we came about that trade. It was around about this area, right here. What can we identify? A move away. We can identify a push, another push above the 800 EMA, and a nice formation above, because at this point price was above all the EMAs, right? Your 200, your 50, your 800, right? And remember, we're trading in line with the structure, right? So in this case, if this was going to be a low and our high, using the fib, as you can see, price came back to a 50, 60, 180 point. So that's a point where you can anticipate a peak formation, right? A peak formation. So as you can see, this continued moving up. We did take this trade and actually held it for a couple of pips. As you can see, our entry was right there, where we actually saw this trade and gave out this trade, and we held this trade until these areas, right? So we took a couple of pips on that. But remember, just by looking at the higher time frame, it makes it very easy for you to understand where price is heading to, right? It makes it easy for you to count your levels. It makes it easy for you to be able to anticipate your resets with more accuracy, right? So the most important thing is always understanding your structure at all times, right? So that was another trade that we took. We also looked at USDCHF. This one was very simple. I'm going to show you on the charts, how we came about this. But, just by looking at this, once we can identify, if we go to the charts, let me find USDCHF right here. Right? If we go to the higher time frame, right? The most important thing is your higher time frame. Just by looking at this, one thing we can identify is we had a peak formation right at this point. We had a level of drop, one level into a consolidation. We can identify another level, second level into a consolidation, and a pullback, and then we have the third level, right? So at this point, what I had identified is, this 5200 crossover, and I was anticipating a reset. So this is what we had. We had that interaction with that 50 EMA, with that 200 EMA, sorry, in our weekly time frame, right? So this was a very big pattern, right? A reset in your weekly, that's more pips, right? So if we go to the daily, this is what we see, a very nice, head and shoulder pattern, right, on above that 800 EMA, right, a good reset point, right? So fine, price did its thing, as you can see. So when I actually saw this trade, price had already moved away from that, right? I wasn't watching it for me to catch the peak, but I wanted to take advantage of, understanding the direction of price. So this is what we had. The analysis on this was very simple. Let me find it. USD right there, right? So it was very simple. This is when I saw this. This was just when I saw this peak formation. This is a peak reset. As you can see, the second leg is higher than the first. So that was a nice information that we had. That's a clear hit of the stops. So I'm going to explain how I got to this. So just by understanding that, you also need to understand your levels. So from there, what we can identify is that one level of drop into a consolidation. And as you can see, we are moving into another level of drop. Why? Because as you can see, this is your daily. So this can be seen as 1 month of drop, a pullback, right? And we are looking to see another month of drop, right? But as you can see, this is actually a new month now. Today is the 1st of August. So, we can look to see how the dealer will work this one, and we'll see if we can, take more trades to the downside, right? So in this case, just, depending on how the dealer plays this, because he can continue dropping or he can give us a pullback, right? We'll just wait and see, how the dealer plays around that. All right. So if we go to our H4 time frame, this is what we can identify right at this point. If we go to our H1, right, it was very simple. The reason why, I saw this trade was we had this, high trap above the 50 EMA and our low. So, I just used the fib approach, right? I was looking for a trade on my 50, 61, 80. We had price coming back into that area, and it was also interacting with the 50 EMA, right? So as you can see, that was also a good trade in our M15 time frame, just to show you how we entered this trade. It was very simple. As you can see, price gave us the trap, move into a consolidation. So we had, opportunities to take advantage of this move. And we also took that trade and we, took some profits and left the run, as you can see right there. This was on USD CHF. Right, guys, hope you learned something from this video. Do not forget to subscribe if you're new here. Also check out our free Telegram channel. Find the link in the description below.